Hello, everyone. Gary Ryan here with you with the Fed League Flash. Normally, we have stats and standings on today's YouTube video. Today, we're doing a little change up. Stats and standings will be on Spotify. So, we'll have the updated standings. Obviously, we'll have my 5 stars of the week, which I have not compiled yet. As I'm recording this game just finished. Recording this Sunday for Monday, posting it Monday morning. All right, so yes, Watertown manages to find a way of escaping Port Huron with some points. They are victorious tonight, 5-2, and they started things off early with one of their usual suspects, Tate Leeson. Leeson gets on the board at 27 seconds in. Bam! It's 1-0 Watertown. Later on in the period, Noah Doyle, he gets a goal. Good to see him get on the board. And so Watertown takes an early lead, but Austin Federley gets Port Huron back in it at 14-10. And then right at the end of the period, 10 seconds left, it's Leeson again. And so now it's 3-1 Watertown after one. The starters in this game were Josh Rosenzweig and Makar Sokolov. Sokolov played very well on Friday night. Tonight just wasn't his night. All right, in the second period, Tristan Sim scores at 134, and Brian Verbeek, coach of the Wolves, said, "I'm not taking any chances. Rosie, you're gone." In comes Spencer Kozlowski into goal. And in the past, this hasn't worked out very well for Verbeek, but it did today. Kozlowski stopped just about everything. So after Tristan Sims on the board, we go back and forth for quite a while. 1832, it's Alexander Gamzatov. He ends up scoring what proves to be the game winner. It's 4-2 Watertown. And then 8 minutes into the third, Tate Leeson gets his hat trick and gets himself back in the scoring column. So only hat trick this weekend was by Tate Leeson. So that was on the power play. And then at the very end of the game, there were some extracurriculars. There was an unfortunate hit. Josh Tomasi ended up hitting an unaware Scantlebury shoulder to upper chest, whatnot. It was a clean hit, but it laid Scantlebury out. And it was not an intentional hit. As soon as it happened, Scantlebury dropped like a sack of rocks. But Tomasi immediately went over, got down. Buddy, you okay? You okay? You okay? It was not an intentional penalty. It was ruled 2 minutes for interference because it was ruled a late hit, but it was clean. Scantlebury left, did not return, and Tomasi went to the box. Watertown killed that penalty off, though, and they pulled Sokolov with just under 5 minutes left. The only thing that happened very late, Dalton J was able to score with the extra attacker, and so that made it 5-3, and that's the way we ended. So crowd of 900 on hand for the Sunday matinee. Kind of tough to draw a big crowd when you got the Red Wings playing on TV. You've got the Lions playing a playoff game. So, yeah, everybody was kind of focused on that. But anyway, with this game, yeah, Watertown now 9-14-2 and feeling a little bit better about themselves on the long bus ride home because at least they weren't shut out for the weekend. Port Huron, they were hoping to be able to leapfrog over the Mississippi Seawolves in the standings. Could not do it. They fall to 12-4, 2 points behind the Seawolves at the end of this weekend. So there we go. That completes week 14. And like I said, normally I would do stats and standings here, but again, that's going to be on Spotify. Make sure you're following me on all platforms here on YouTube, Facebook, and of course on Spotify. Spotify is where I began everything. That's where it began. All right, so we are going through our power rankings for the week, week 14. If your team is in red, you move down a spot. If your team is in blue, you moved up a spot. If you're black, the same position that you were in last week. All right, so yeah, I dropped Elmira down to 11th. Now losers of 3 straight. As a matter of fact, in their last 8 games are 1-7. They're just underperforming. You look at this roster, and they should be better than what their record indicates. They just haven't been able to find the answer for whatever reason. So yeah, Elmira is still struggling. I moved Blue Ridge up to 10th. Um, Now they lost 2 of their 3 games, but um, in 2 games that they lost, they were ultra competitive. One was a shootout loss to the Carolina Thunderbirds. The other, they lost 4-2 on an empty net goal to Motor City. Trevor Babin just shut them down. And then the other game, they dominated 7-1. So they found their offense. They have scored 13 goals in 3 games. And I mean, that's something they've been needing desperately. Baton Rouge, I kept them at number 9. The defense has become a little bit lax as of late. They went through a period of time where they were playing 500 hockey, basically, and there was improvements in all areas on the ice. I'm seeing a little bit of a decline in their defensive play, so it's a little bit of a concern, something that they can hopefully get shored up as they head into next week's games. Number 8, Watertown. That's where I had them last week. Again, they were able to come out with the win this week, but overall their struggles offensively are still very concerning. Uh, Again, outside of uh, Trinwith Blacksmith, Tate Leeson, and Trevor Lord, not getting any offense, and you need that. So it was good to see Gamzatov get on board and Noah Doyle get on the board. But yeah, they need more offensive balance. Number 7, Port Huron. They played well on Friday and Saturday, but just wasn't enough to be able to jump up in the 3rd place. There's still a lot of inconsistencies. Some nights they look fantastic, and then other nights, today, it just wasn't there. And it just kind of felt like they were kind of going through the motions a little bit. I don't think that they literally were, but you get that impression with the Prowlers. The intensity is not there every time they come out for a game. And of course, in a league where you could have any team beat any other team any given day, you need that intensity. Okay, so number 6, Mississippi, still holding on to 3rd place in the Continental. Um, I look at this team, and this is another team that I kind of scratch my head at. They should be better on paper. They should be better than what they are, but again, they just haven't committed the defense. So you have games here and there where it's a blowout, and they're on the wrong end of it, or they do things like shooting themselves in the foot, as what happened with a couple nights ago with losing Russell and Pinkowski and Pace to suspension. They've got to be more disciplined. All right, number 5, Danbury. They narrowed the gap between them and Motor City a little bit. It was only by 1 point, but they gained a point. They're on the climb. They obviously have their identity back. Johnny Ruiz has gone back to being Johnny Ruiz after a slow start. That's the hallmark of this team, though. The concern I have is that it seems like most games they come out very slow and tentative, and then the second and third period they ramp it up. So they need to get off to better starts. I think if they do that, they're a very dangerous team right now. So um, I expect them to climb up the rankings over the next few weeks. Motor City, Babs is back, and it's a darn good thing. This this team is playing a little bit better now, but obviously, you've had a couple games here and there, like the big blowout to a loss to Binghamton, and then the blowout loss to Blue Ridge this last weekend. They just need to kind of rediscover their chemistry, and that's very hard because they've lost so many players to injury and call ups and whatnot. I did a show, a podcast just a few days ago about have the Rockers lost their groove. It's hard to keep your groove when your lineup is constantly changing. So yeah, it's not their fault, but they've got to figure out a way of pulling together once again and playing as a cohesive team. Okay, so that leaves us with our last three teams. So we will remove the envelope. Yeah, and we will tip the board. Okay, so the last three there, we have did a switch here, and some of it has to do with scheduling because Carolina only played once, but that one game was a very close shootout win against Blue Ridge. Um, the game before, they gave up 5 goals to Port Huron. They scored 9, fortunately, but the defense has been suffering, and the main reason is because Joe Kennedy has been out of the lineup hurt. They need Joe back very, very badly. This defensive group that they have on the ice isn't bad, but I don't feel that they are playing as well as they could, and I think they miss Kennedy more than they would like to admit. So once he comes back, I expect things to improve. It's amazing what a difference one person can sometimes make. But yeah, with Carolina, definitely does. Columbus, they are surging right now. They're 8-2. The winners of the last 4, and they're really finding their stride. Yeah, they're playing a weaker schedule than Carolina, but good teams win the games they're supposed to win, and Columbus is finding a way of winning games that they're supposed to win. Um, the offense is really stepping it up. They're just relentless on the puck. So so I kind of leapfrogged them over Carolina, but I think this is going to be a neck and neck race. I think these two teams are going to be flipping back and forth right until April. All right, number 1, Binghamton. Yes, they lost on Friday, but it was a close one. They dominated that game for 40 minutes and then just took their foot off the gas. They learned their lesson on Saturday, kept it full throttle the entire game, and ended up with a very convincing win. This is the first real bit of adversity the team has faced all year, having suffered 3 extra time losses in the period of 2 weeks. But they've responded well. So, yeah, they've gotten 24 out of 30 points. The last 10 games. So, yep, they're number 1 still. All right, so there you go. There's our rankings, as well as the recap of the game. So, thank you again so much for tuning in and watching. Make sure to keep in touch on Spotify. We'll have Spotify podcasts today and the next 3 days. And then Facebook Live will be back with Friday night previews. And looking forward to a full week of games up ahead. Have a great day, everyone. I'm Gary Ryan for the Fed League Flash.